What up, Doe? It's your boy Bandit, and this is another episode of Detroit What Up, Doe, episode 44, where we talk about the hottest topics in Detroit sports. That's Lions, Tigers, Pistons, and Redwings, and sometimes Michigan Wolverines. But I'm, I'm here with my boy Rich, man. Let them know where they can find you at, Rich.
You can find me on X at Riggs928.
For sure. All right, we got a couple of topics we're going to talk about tonight, you feel me? Let's start with some Pistons talk, you feel me? So the T-Wolves are out of the playoffs, you feel me? And they got a couple players that's up for free agency this year. And a person I think would fit the Pistons real good, you feel me, is Nas Reed. Wait. You popped in right on time, too.
Oh,
What up, Ed?
what up?
So let everybody know where they can find you at.
You can find me on the D313XP. We try to stream as often as possible. That's what's up.
For sure. Well, I'm going to start with you asking you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Nas Reed, you feel me? He up. Be a free agent, man. Should we say Nas Reed?
He'd be a good get. I think what you're seeing now is some of these performances in the playoffs, quite honestly speaking, are costing some of these guys money, man. And Nas Reed is one of those guys. So if he can get it for a reasonable offer, Pistons have around $17 million in cap space. Go ahead and do it. I know he's going to want to start. And right now, only a few teams can offer any money. So that shouldn't necessarily be a situation, to be, fearful of. 17 million is a lot more than most squads have. Most of these, in fact, to be very honest with you, half the league is paying second apron luxury tax. But I do think there are possibly, more needle-moving moves out there than Nas Reed. To be very honest with you, man, I think we probably should be going after big targets. If we're gonna make a move, I say let's just try somebody like Devin Booker. And then I'll be honest with you, if that doesn't work out, guy I really like is Derek White. I think he's available. And to be very honest with you, man, I think the Celtics are going to want to get under the luxury tax. And I know that they're saying that, some individuals are saying that, well, Drew Holiday would be the guy to move to get into the luxury tax. That and Porzingis. Here, the issue with that is Porzingis really doesn't have any value. And so this second apron is so crippling. You're not going to be competing for a championship with JT out. That's just not going to happen. And we saw what they are without JT. Hell, we saw what they were with JT in that series. And so there's no point in paying second apron luxury tax unless you have a serious chance at winning the championship. So I think Derek White is a guy we should holler at. And as for a move, a trade, I think we should be in the Jabari Smith Jr. sweepstakes.
I
think Jabari would fit very well. I think I've actually heard some traction from some credible sources about him possibly being on the list of guys that Trajan is interested in, especially with JB's history. JB likes two actual big guys in his backcourt or his front court rather. I'm sorry, and I think that'll be a good move. I think the Rockets are kind of in a position to where they have too much talent. And I think they've kind of settled on Tari Eason being that guy, and that's just kind of one of those things that kind of that comes from having a good problem to have, like the Pistons should have. How much talent, to where you're going to eventually have to make some decisions on these guys. And I think that Jabari would be available because I do see where their philosophy is that Tari Eason probably is the better fit next to Şengün. And realistically, whichever one of Jabari Smith Jr. or Şengün blossomed into a actual all-star first, it was who they were going to build around. And so happened to be Şengün. I think Tari Eason fits better at the four with what they're trying to do. I think Jabari is available. I think he would really, really pop on the Pistons, especially with a guy like that. A pure point guard that always get those looks. And I've said it from the very jump. I'll continue to say it. Cade's real duo does not have to be a two guard next to him. It really needs to be a offensively talented big man that he can run the pick and roll to pick and pop with. And I think Jabari gives them that. So Nas Reed, absolutely, I think he'd be a good get. But I do think there's other moves that might make a little bit more sense.
Rich, same question. Should the Pistons go off some Nas Reed in this free agency?
Yeah, I'm with Ed on this. Ed knows that. I've been on the Jabari.
Mhm.
I was on Nas Reed until that BS that he started against us. To be honest with you, and then like Ed said, his production in the playoffs kind of formatted that. I think Jabari. I really think it's a possibility because I mean I don't want to bore you with with what Ed just said, but my thoughts are the same. It's he gets a chance, a new scenery. Uh, you know, he's coming off the bench there. Like Ed said, he comes here. You pretty much go into the tops, top three as far as touches, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Um,
I agree.
he offers that defense, the block shots.
Mhm.
I think he's a really good fit. He's still young. Um, I don't think it would cost them too much as far as players for trade. I also over Nas Reed. I'm a big Bobby Portis guy.
Mhm. Mhm.
I would take Bobby Portis over Nas Reed, in my opinion.
Yeah, he did have a bad, series against the freaking Oklahoma City Thunder. So, but other than that, I like his gameplay though. I like he a big he can rebound and can shoot from the outside, man. Like
Mhm.
I would like him compared next our boy down there, bro, in the paint. So
Bobby
I
Portis
mean,
does the same thing as him. I just think he's more effective.
I don't like Bobby, man. I really don't like Bobby Portis, bro.
why not?
I just don't like his game. Like I don't know. Like I know he that
Why not?
that. What'd you say?
Why not?
Yeah, what's
I
there
don't
to
know. I
not
just
like
don't like it.
about him?
I just don't like Bobby Portis, man. I don't know.
He's
I'm something
very
about.
steady.
Yeah,
Consistent too.
I may be wrong. All right, let's get. Let's get. I may be wrong, man. I'm just saying. Like when I watch him, I just don't like his play, man. I don't. Like
All right.
everybody got their own
Fair.
opinion for sure.
We got a
All right.
championship. You know that, right?
Yeah, we know he won a championship. Yeah, I feel like Bobby Portis, if it was like back in the day, bro, like it was like 1996 and he was playing, he'd be playing with the Horace Grant goggles, man. Like I don't know,
What's that got to do with anything though?
I don't know. I just we talking shit. I always talk
I,
shit.
I gotta press you on this. I gotta press you. Hey, Rich, press Bandit with me.
Yeah, I don't see the discourse either.
Mhm.
Like he does everything Nas does. Just I think he's more effective,
Mhm.
Maybe
more
right.
consistent.
Mhm. Yeah, veteran, a younger veteran than Tobias too.
Yeah.
But I think in order to get Bobby Portis, you'd have to move Tobias. To be very honest with you, so and to be very honest, the same thing goes with Jabari. So, but you don't get me wrong. I don't think Tobias Harris. I guess a bit of a hot take, but I don't think it's a very big of a hot take. I don't think Tobias Harris is the starting four next year.
You don't like Tobias? You take Bobby Portis over Tobias Harris?
He's a better player.
Right now,
Yeah, I would definitely take Bobby Portis over Tobias Harris. Well,
bro,
here's the thing
Tobias
now.
was getting bullied by Cat. Bullied.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He did a good job for the size difference.
Yeah, he
Um,
did.
that's not my contention. My contention is that we have to get bigger. And I like to look at trends. Trajan does not approach me as the type of guy that allows something to just ferment. He sees things and he hops on it, and he hops on opportunities to fix those things. He saw the weaknesses that we had in the season prior to this one. He hopped on that, got actual effective veterans, effective shooters. I think he's going to see the situation, here this offseason, and I don't think that he goes in with the same roster that we had to finish the season. I think he's, a guy who's, though he's a fair guy, he's a, solid guy. He seems like he has integrity. He still has to be shrewd. This is team building. And the bottom line is that man's job title is to build a winner. And you have to see the trends in the NBA right now. We are too small. And that's why for fans, this is why, and I'll revisit this and continue to revisit this until we get rid of some of the homer mentality that we have amongst the fan base. We have to kind of evaluate the talent and look at the fits, and then we have to think some things do just have to change, and then some of these guys are going to have to go. For instance, let's say we already got the power forward we want with Bobby Clinton, right, or whatever, whatnot. Ron Holland, especially the league is trending back. And before we get to the next topic, right? Think about this, guys. What do all the teams right now left have in common?
Size.
Size. All of them have size, and not only size, but functional, skilled size. Everybody, everybody. And so, if we think that we can beat teams without actually respecting that trend, or we can build a winner, that's not going to happen. We'll be exactly where we are, the sixth seed. You have to try to get better. You have to always try to get better. The only unmovable is Cade. Period. I'm sorry. Point blank. Anybody else for the right price or a deal that makes sense can be moved. So, for instance, I'll say this because some people say, "Well, when Jabari would be cheap." Don't get me wrong. I agree with Rich. I think he would be, hypothetically speaking. But let's say this. Let's say the Rockets said, "Hey, would you guys do Jabari Smith Jr. for Ron Holland straight up?" Yes, I would, because let's be honest, Ron and Nassar play the same position. This whole Nassar could be the four. No, he can't. He's too small. Or Ron could be the four unless he gets a 2 or 3 inch growth spurt. No, he can't. He's too small.
I don't even
Put
think
it out there, point blank.
he's too skinny.
Well, the high guys are doing it too, man. Because let's look at this. The smallest starting four in the playoffs right now is Siakam. Siakam's 6'8", 6'9", but he has a 7'3", 7'4" wingspan. So
I think
at the end of the day,
Ron Holland's 6'8", ain't he?
huh?
Ain't
No, he's
Ron
not,
Holland
man.
6'8"?
That's BS, dude. I'm a big combine guy, bro. No, he's not. He's 6'6" and a half without shoes. 6'7" with shoes on. 7 foot wingspan. He's too little. He's too little. And then we're asking him. He's allegedly 206 right now. I don't see it. And Sayakam is 235, 240 yoked. That's come on, man. He's too little. And once again, at the end of the day, he's not a four. He's not a
No, no.
four. He's a three. He's a three that should be sliding into over to the two and maybe play some very small spot minutes at the four. That's not what he is, man. I think we just kind of have to understand those trends. And then let's be real. If Bobby Clinton pans out to be anything, if he's a player, he's a better fit next to Jalen Durant. He's legit 6'9", just like he's got handles a little bit. Good passer, can shoot the rock. If they think he's a player, he's gonna have to get minutes. And I'm just saying, he makes more logistical sense. So, and I'm not advocating for trading Ron because everybody on this panel knows how I feel about Ron Holland. But what I am saying is we do have to be more open minded and stop being so fanboyish about certain players. Especially look at the makeup of this team. We got some holes to fill, man.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Tigers, man. And Rich, I'm gonna start off with you on this one, man. Can they keep this going, man? Hot streak, being top of their division right now. Can they keep this going? I mean, I know there's a lot of baseball left, but still. But
This is where I'm gonna stop. This is what absolutely they can, because it doesn't just start this year. It goes back to last year, and their offense has surprised everybody.
Yes, they have.
I mean, say what you will, I mean, I still think we needed another bat. I wouldn't mind another back end guy. They just called up Dylan Smith, who I've talked on the baseball show a little while ago. I said he was a diamond in the rough. They were looking at him as a future closer, and he was at AAA not long at all, and he got the call up to the big leagues today.
We're gonna talk about that on the baseball show tomorrow. But go ahead, you got it.
So I think Yeah, man. Like they, you still got Parker Meadows coming back. Veerling got hurt again. Wenzel Perez just came back. Yeah, man. I absolutely they can.
Hey, your thoughts? Can the Tigers keep this up, bro?
No, I don't think so.
I can't hear
No,
you, bro.
I, no, I don't think so. To be very honest with you, their offense surprising anybody. Everybody, what part of their offense is a surprise? Their bullpen is great. You have the best pitcher in baseball, and that's really what's carrying us right now is our bullpen. We can't hit,
That's just not true, Ed.
but it is true. We can't hit. We
That's
can't
not
hit,
true
bro.
at
Like,
all.
but it is true, man. Like, let's be honest with you. What is our record against 500 teams, man?
Our runs we're fourth in runs, tied for 10th in hits, tied for
Against
10th,
who?
tied for 10th in
Uh,
OBP.
I, against who?
What do you mean? We've only lost like 3 series. Period.
Uh, But what did I just say? What is our record against 500 or better teams? I'm gonna say this right here, and I'll put it to you like this because I'm a guy. I'm not. I just, especially with baseball, man. Baseball's a long season, so I'm just gonna put it out there like that. Let's have this conversation in August when the weather is evened out everywhere, when everybody's playing warm weather, when everybody's bat is warm, when all the cold weather states have caught up, and we'll see if we're still doing what we're doing now. Because right now, I'll be very honest with you, man. I don't see this continuing. I think this is front running as usual. And to be very honest with you, this is not something that's foreign to the Tigers. We'll have a stretch of front running, look good, look better than what we actually are, come up short. So I'll put it out there like this, man. Well, I'll personally I'll revisit this in August. I'll come on the baseball show personally, and we'll revisit this in August to see what this looks like.
Their record
'Cause I don't
against
believe in
500
it.
teams is 19 and 16.
So there were 3 games above 500 but against good teams.
Yeah. Yep.
We've lost 4 series all year so far.
Okay, exactly. To who?
The Guardians, they got our number.
Because they're good.
Dodgers.
The Dodgers, the Rangers, and the Brewers.
Right, exactly. So that's what I'm saying, man. We'll revisit this in August when all the teams have caught up, weather-wise, because the weather does matter, contrary to the belief. When all the teams have caught up weather-wise, and everybody's not having cold fronts or still having 50-degree days in the middle of their 60 or their 70-degree weeks, we'll see this in August. If this still continues in August, I'll believe in it. Until then, I'm not buying it. I
They've
think
given
we
you
actually
over
need to do
100
something
games to believe.
against who. That's the whole. To me, that's the Marcus Sasser argument. Man, Marcus Sasser had 20 against who?
They've been doing this since last year.
Doing what since last year?
Winning ball games.
Yeah.
Once again, against any significance?
We
What is
won a
doing what since
playoff
last year,
series.
bro?
Playoff series.
We
It
were
doesn't
one win
matter.
away from going to the
LCS.
It
ALCS.
doesn't matter. Okay, doesn't matter. Try to tell you. We'll see this in August. I'll try
Yeah.
to tell you. We'll see this in August. I don't
So
believe
Ed,
in it.
you telling me you don't got the Tigers making the playoffs?
No. No, you know what? I would say this. I think first round. Let me say this. Let's just talk about getting better. I think first round is the very high, the very tip of the ceiling for this team. So it depends on what we think good is. If our definition of good is low hanging fruit, like the first round of the playoffs, just like this with the Pistons, right? If you got all these people talking about, man, no, don't trade Beasley, or resign this, don't trade Ivy, don't trade. Look, man, the point is, look, we get it. Rampant mediocrity. One of the worst records and worst run stretches of all time. If you're a Pistons fan, right? And so
Oh,
when you finally, so so when you finally get some success, people cling on to what looks like success a little bit too much. But let's look at the truth of the matter. We're sixth in the East. Talk about making the playoffs. That's 2 spots. You also have to look at the truth of the matter. That's 2 spots away from not making the playoffs. You're 2 spots away from the play in. You're a average team. So if first round is the ceiling we're satisfied with, then I don't know what to say. But I do think that's the ceiling on the Tigers right now as well. First round. So just like with my Pistons, gotta get better. Gotta get talent. Gotta get more talent. And we gotta stop being cheap. We'll have stretches like this where we look really good. And then I think, when push comes to shove, we're gonna see we're really not that great of a team. If we're satisfied with the first round, sure. But I'm not that kind of guy, man. I think that's aiming low. If we're not trying to build a champion, so let me ask you this: Are the Tigers? Let me ask Rich: Are the Tigers a threat to win the pennant?
I don't see why not. We were close last year, and this team is better than they were last year.
Okay, man. So you're saying the Tigers are a threat to win the pennant?
If we lose in the first round, I'm gonna be disappointed.
It's a yes or no question, brother.
Disappointed.
It's a yes or no question. Are the Tigers a threat to win the pennant this year?
I just answered yes. I said
okay,
if we don't make the playoffs, I would be disappointed. If we get knocked out the first round, I would be disappointed.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll revisit this in August. Okay. And so is everybody else.
Exactly. And we're got the best Major League Baseball right now.
Okay. I think it's a lot of fun running. So we'll see you in August.
We will see.
We'll see We'll see how long the bullpen can carry us.
Somebody said Brad Holmes is the best GM in the world.
I think we make a move at the deadline. We'll be good. We still got guys coming back.
Making moves requires spending money. We'll see.
We will revisit this in August with Ed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, OTAs just started for Lions. I don't think OTAs, but they back in training camp and everything else like that. And big thing is J-Mo coming in there. He looking real big. You feel me? So I'm gonna say Campbell speaking, and I'm gonna ask you the question after that. But then let me say Jan Campbell's point about Mr. J-Mo.
He's had a good spring, and it's another one. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves in OTAs, but I mean, there's so much versatility with him. There's so many things that we can do just with his routes on the outside. I mean, we can do things inside, but just with his speed and he's gotten so much stronger. His ability to stop, put his foot in the ground. Man, when you can run like he can run, and now you're beginning to where, man, you can stop on a dime. I mean, you talk about a hard cover. So the sky's the limit for him. He's exactly where we want him to be right now at this point, man. He's been here. He's grinding. He's getting better. Scotty's freaking grinding him. It's awesome. But we expect him to have a huge season. We really do, man. He's going to be one of these guys that we're going to lean on this year, and it is really going to be big for us. And all he's got to do is just keep working like he's working. And
big expectations for J-Mo. So I'm going to start with you, Ed. What's your expectations for J-Mo this year?
All pro. I think he can do it.
I think he can do it too, bro. Oh God, I think J-Mo. I think he's gonna lead the team in receptions this year and touchdowns, bro. Like,
the kid is extremely talented.
Yes, sir. And he playing for that money too, and that money on the line, that bag on the line. You got to show up, bro.
But you see now, look, man. Once again, we want to revisit, idiot fans, because remember, this comes out of Dan Campbell's mouth. I just want to know how many folks said trade J-Mo this offseason.
Man, we heard that.
Let's come back to it. Let's come back to it.
Let's go back.
To it. How many morons? Exactly. How many morons talk about some trade J-Mo?
Preach.
That's it, bro. And then this is the thing where you can actually see the talent with J-Mo. Some of these other guys who talk about in other sports, the fans kind of manifest things that are not there. But J-Mo's only issue is what? Attitude and off the field, decision making. That's it.
Let's talk about the off field decision making, because it was a rule that 90 was like 75 or some bullshit high number that the rest of the league didn't know about. He got suspended for. He was injured when he got drafted and came back. You feel me? And then it was Ryan with him and his brother, and it was a gun in the car. The gun was registered, so it wasn't really no incident. They just the tabloids and everything made it bigger than what it
No,
was.
no, it wasn't. They didn't make it bigger than what it was. It wasn't a smart choice, man. I just keep it real with you. It wasn't. He needs to vet. Look, man, you touching money. You touching money like never see. You touching seven figures, right?
Yes,
You
sir.
don't have any business hanging out in certain areas where other people are. You have to understand certain things, man. I understand people are they're regular people too. Well, no, they're not actually. Regular people don't make millions of dollars.
Yes, sir, Dean King, sir. Some places you just can't be when you're making all that money.
Some places you just can't be when you're making all that money. You said it perfectly. So, and some folks you can't hang out with. You got to think, man. You got to vet. And so, but either way, I don't think it's something to continue to castigate the young man forever. Make his mistakes and move on like anybody else. So that's really what it is. But the talent, man, the talent has clearly always been there with J-Mo. So now it's coming out of Dan Campbell mouth and whatnot, and he's excited to what they have. Especially with now that they have Slaw on the roster as well, I think it's going to give them a great 1-2 punch on the X and the Y. And yeah, man, I think I'm very excited for it.
Rich, Ed said J-Mo gonna be an All-Pro this year. What's your expectation from J-Mo this year?
I mean, every year he's improved. So I mean, there's no reason, not to believe. He's in OTAs. You could tell he's bulked up.
Mm-hmm.
Which Dan Campbell said that'll allow him to allow them to open up his route tree. They can do more things with him. So you're just making yourself better, right? You're not just satisfied with being the 9 route guy. We seen last year. I tried to say this last year. I was like, this guy can do more than just 9 routes. I watched him at Alabama. Like, the talent is there. I've always said this. You know that, Bandit. Detroit has 2 playmakers. Playmaker to me is anybody who can score a touchdown, put their head on the goalpost anytime
At
they
any
touch
given
the ball.
moment.
That's him and Gibbs.
Yes,
Him
sir.
and
Yes,
Gibbs.
sir.
St. Brown's good. He's steady Eddie 2 All-Pro. I get that. Sam Laporte. But they don't have the talent that Gibbs and J-Mo do. Anytime they touch the ball, it could be,
Touchdown.
the house.
Touchdown.
So I mean, I'm happy to see this guy. I like him. He's very talented. He's a football player. I mean, he played on special teams at Bama. So
And Ohio State.
Like Ed said, it was like, yesterday when I had this conversation with Jamal, right? When you're at this level, man, the microscope's on you, man. We had this discussion yesterday, Ed.
Listen to Stephon Diggs.
And they were trying to say that, he was on the party, he was doing this, and, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. I said, let me ask you something, Jamal. I said, you're pretty successful. You're a GM at Chili's, or I think that's what restaurant he is.
Applebee's.
Said, right? I said, so if you come,
who's Jamal, boss? Who's Jamal?
It was on a different pod.
Yeah, on a different podcast.
You're general manager at Chili's?
And I was, yeah.
Applebee's.
Said, yeah.
So that means, you're general manager at Applebee's, so that means he understands success?
No.
Okay.
You're not letting me finish my point.
I got to mess with you, man.
So I'm saying, I said, so if you come to my house and I run a dope house and I get raided, what's going to happen? You can lose your job. You're going to jail. Like, I know it's different levels, but it's still like, I said that so he could see my point. Like, when you're doing,
I get what you're saying.
When you're doing decent, like, you can't put yourself in those predicaments, right? Like, I have a daughter. I got to be smart. I don't want to do shit to where I lose her. You got to move it, man.
Exactly. Which includes some things we can't do, some places we can't hang out. Some friends, man. Look, it might not even be anything personal because it's still my guy. But look, man, as a man who's got a family now, got a daughter, brother, we can't. No offense, but we can't chill because I know what you're gonna want to do. You know,
Yeah, I holler at you on the phone to make sure you're cool and Gucci.
yeah, absolutely.
But we just ain't going and hanging out on the block no more, man.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Exactly. Can't do that anymore, man. That stage. Once we have children, man, that stage of life is over. And then especially
Yeah.
like for this young man here, once you make it to this level of money, fella, some of these associations you had, and some of these people that you want to hang out with, and some of these places you want to go, that stage of your life is over.
I love you from a distance. You feel me?
That's right.
I mean, even me as an everyday guy,
Mm-hmm.
I have people around me. They're my friends, my day ones. But if I'm wrong, they're not just going to say, okay, keep fucking up.
Exactly.
They're going to hold me
You're right.
accountable. Richard, what
And
are
they
you
should.
doing? Exactly. You can't just have yes man around you all the time.
That's factual.
I see. Real talk. All right, man. The next topic we're gonna talk about, man. So with our two right now starting leader edge rushers being hurt coming off, Dan Campbell spoke about Aiden Hutchinson and Davenport and their progress coming back from injury.
Hutch OTA looks good. I mean, he's moving well. You don't see him favoring anything. I mean, he's bending, he's grabbing the grass. He looks confident. And there again, that's without pads. So there's nothing to tell me that, man, the guy is not recovered or going to be recovered. As far as it deals with the pass rush, like yesterday, I'm glad you brought that up. So offensively, we kind of had this mid-cross. We had these two posts. We're trying to hit this deep shot, man, 34 yards to Laporta. It was awesome. And it took time, right? It takes time offensively to do that. And we did because we had to do walkthrough with the front, all right, the O-line and D-line. So it's hard to tell. We can't go hard enough to decide how good the rush is or how do we really prep it, get it better. We're not allowed to do that. So, but I am confident. Davenport looks good. There again, it's early too for him. And we're not in the physical nature of the game. We don't have pads on, but I like the guys we have in that room, and there again, training camp will make it right.
So I guess it's looking good for Davenport and Hutch, man. So Rich, I'm gonna start with you, man. How comfortable are you feeling with Hutch coming back from injury and showing out, and Davenport coming back from injury and playing?
So the thing that people I don't think that realize about Davenport is, man, it's a low cost, high reward deal. You got him for $1.5 million, up to $4 million with incentives. They have said his mind is different this year. You know what that tells me? Oh, guess what? I got to earn my money. I can't just get hurt and get $10 million like I did last year.
A lot of people would call that a Brad Holmes special, though. Just saying.
Brad Holmes special.
That's what they call
Davenport special. Davenport 16. He want to win. Like, it's whole different. Like, oh shit, I got money on the line. I might just have to take these these toes up today. But last year's injury, we got to admit that was a fluke. I mean, he got karate chopped. But I think they like what they like. They got this. Who knows this guy that they got in the 6th round? They're always a rookie. I know that.
He looked big coming in camp, bro.
But guess what? Since you want to call Brad Holmes special with the injury, we got to keep it 100. Brad Holmes special is also pulling out them gems from the later rounds.
Listen, I know, but he come in. That man came in looking big, and he's the first person in his culture, his religion, or whatever you want to call it, bro.
Egyptian.
Yeah, bro, he man, I feel like he gonna show up and show out. So I mean, I hope Davenport is, all right. He do show up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Rich. You can continue before I pass it to Ed.
I mean, yeah, like Brad Holmes gets like one a year, it seems like. In the later rounds, they're at least producers, right? Even Rodrigo. That dude's just produced. He's not an all-pro. He's not a pro bowler, but he's a steady player on special teams. He's played fullback, played linebacker. He comes in and plays during the game, in rotation. He steps in if you got injuries. Like, always a steady, heady player. Like, everybody always got this thing that you need all pros. That's not how it goes. Every team has glue guys. Every team has role players. Every team. You go back to them great Red Wings teams. Do you remember the grind line? Draper, McCarty, and Maltby. They played a huge success in our run. Every team has them. No matter the sport. That's hell that I just see that Terrence Gore. Guy's got like 3 fucking World Series rings and got like no hits. But every year he plays on rosters. You know why? Because he's a speed demon. So they find a way for him to get in the game and contribute.
Hey, yo, Ro.
He don't play all year long, but all of a sudden come playoff time, Ed, he find himself a team.
That's true.
Everybody can't be the owner of Burger King, you feel me? You still need the people that's going to be taking orders and be on the grill. Yeah, you feel me? Just play your role. You feel me?
It's true.
Yeah. What you feel about Hudson Davenport, man?
I mean, if they're ready, they're ready. And we know what they are when they're healthy. I mean, it goes to say, one still has tremendous potential, and one is a star in the NFL when he's healthy. So, hey, not much I can really add on top of what's already been said. They're ready to come back. They're ready. As Dan is saying, they look good. No TAs. Man, look healthy. Yeah, it's time to roll.
Yes, sir. All right, hey, you be talking about. I'm gonna start with you on the next topic. You feel me? Because you always say that you can't be a homer. Everybody can't get paid. You feel me? You gotta look to upgrade.
That's right.
There's a man in Detroit right now that's wants to get a new deal. You feel me? Angeloni. You seeing Derek Barnes just got his new deal. You feel me? And everybody getting paid. I guess he want to get paid, man. I guess he ain't been at OTAs or practice or whatever. I'm not sure about it, but how you feeling about Angeloni, man? Do he deserve a new deal, man? Would you give him a new deal?
I mean, I'll say this. It depends on what, and I'll just leave it to this. It depends on what Dan thinks. If Dan thinks, you know what, we don't need him, then whatever. If they think, look, though, this is just typical, par for the course player, looking to get the best deal, holding out, and they'll eventually give him his money. Sure. I'm to be very honest with you, man, I'm content with either outcome. You know what I'm saying? I'm content with either outcome. As for what I give Alex Anzalone a deal, yeah, I give him a deal. I give him something like I can probably give him somewhere where 2 for 10, 2 for 9, somewhere in there. But if he's not going for that, then hey, it depends on the number. I think if the Lions say they have a number for Anzalone and he doesn't like that number, is he a guy that you break the bank for? No. But go ahead.
I think Angeloni gonna be one of the first key fan favorite players that's not gonna be able to get his bag and have to go somewhere else. It's just my opinion.
That's fine. I mean, that's fine. But I think that turns into that goes back to the argument when you have fans that were mad at Brad for not going after these huge extravagant signings, failing to realize that some of the huge extravagant signings to be made during this past free agency were actually already on the team. You know what I'm saying? So, and then like you hear about certain names, I'm like, and I still pose this question to once again, Homer, who wanted this big splash of free agency. Who was Brad Holmes supposed to spend money on in this free agency class? Who? Like who? Like, what about Trey Hendricks? You mean the guy who was on team when to resign him? You know what I'm saying? So it goes to show, man. I think they did the right thing. They drafted extremely intelligent. I'm gonna tell y'all, Tyreek Williams is a dog. I know Ohio State brother, but Tyreek Williams is a dog. Um, and you gotta watch. You gotta watch. You gotta actually
Listen to
watch
Rick.
ball sometimes and know what you're looking
Listen to Rick.
about with that pocket. About how Tyreek Williams affects the pocket, man. It's not always about pressures, but here's the thing: sacks do not make you a good defensive player, so to speak.
No.
Because I'm gonna tell you straight now, sacks do not make you a good defensive player, man. You can get to the quarterback. Let's say you got 7 sacks on the season, but every other possession, right? Every other possession, you can't even get pressure on the pocket. You're not a good defender.
You gotta be in the quarterback's face. You feel me?
Yes. Now, one thing you can say about Tyreek Williams' film, Tyreek Williams is consistently collapsing the pocket. Consistently. So I think we did a great job, man.
Another thing they don't know about him, bro, he good as fucking goal line defense, bro. On God.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Go look at the film. But as for me, for Alex, I think it's this, man. If you can work something out with him, bring him back on a reasonable deal, keep him around. But I wouldn't break the bank to keep Alex. As much as I like him, if Dan feels like, hey, if he doesn't want what we're offering, Brad feels like if he doesn't want what we're offering, we're not sweating it. That's cool. If he'll take it, hey, love to see him around. But like you said, not everybody can get paid.
Rich, you want a new deal? Will you pay Alex Angeloni?
So first, I just wanted to touch what Ed just said about sacks and everything. How many times have you watched a football game? You hear an announcer say, "So and so don't have no sacks, but man, he's made hell for the quarterback today."
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So his stats don't show that he had a good, but damn, that quarterback knows he had
Exactly.
had a good game because he's been making his life hell all day.
When he caresses that pocket, brother.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I like Alex, but you're gonna be 31 going into this year. We can't pay everybody. We still got supposedly Frank wants a new deal.
You gotta pay Hutch.
You got Hutch that gonna need a new
J-Mo.
deal. J-Mo's up. Branch coming behind. Like Gibbs coming up here. Can't pay everybody. I'm sorry. And you being 31, I'm sorry, buddy. If you want too much money, then we're gonna have to let you roll.
Yeah, I guess I give him something, man. 2 for 8, 2 for 9, maybe.
Is he gonna take 2
but
for 8? Are you talking about $8 million a year?
no, to $4 million a year.
Oh, I don't think he's gonna take that.
He ain't gonna take that because he's at 6 now.
Yeah, he ain't gonna take
that. He's at 6 now, so listen. You see my point? Rich just hit the nail on the head already. You're aging, brother.
Yeah.
So if you want a new deal, we're restructuring. Or you gonna be happy with what you got?
Hey, coming to Detroit really changed his whole career too, because he was a special teams guy, third down.
Yeah. Almost a practice squad player.
You're absolutely right. So coming to Detroit changed his whole career. So he would have to take a deal.
Exactly. That's my.
When you see your companion Dan Barnes didn't getting paid too, you kind of feel some type of way like I'm more consistent than this man, so I can see it both ways. You feel me? Because
well, hear me out with that though, man. You're right, but at the same time, think about this, man. How many positions get raises after 30 years old?
Shit.
The quarterback and then what?
Maybe a top offensive lineman, maybe, but other than that.
Yeah, maybe a top O lineman, maybe a top DN. Maybe. Outside of that, when have you seen anybody like Alex Angeloni, man, get a deal, get a raise after 30 years old?
People just got to get ready to part ways with Alex Angeloni then.
Exactly. See what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying.
Like you said, like Rich said, you still got Hutch. You got to pay. You're gonna have to pay Gibbs. Gibbs getting a new deal going to change the whole market for the running back position. Let's be real.
Yeah, because when this contract comes up, he will be the highest paid back in the NFL. That's true.
Like, and you still got you got Brian Branch, J-Mo. especially we thinking he's gonna have an all-pro year. You feel me? He's gonna deserve a bag. Then if he stay out of trouble, bro, if he have no incidents, don't get in no suspension, no off-field incidents, James will get a bag.
Give him his money, especially if he gives you a chip.
Yeah, sir. Oh, hell yeah.
I personally don't think Brian Branch is coming back.
What about you? Still got Laporta. Laporta's deal going. He coming up in a couple years.
Brian Branch. Let me ask you though, Rich. On a scale of 1 to 10, how replaceable do you think Brian Branch is?
You said what?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how replaceable is Brian Branch to you?
Replaceable being high.
This is why I say it, Ed.
Huh?
Because you just paid Kirby. You're not paying two safeties $20 million.
That's true. Now let me ask you this: who's the more talented player?
I would have thought Branch overall.
It's Kirby, man. I think it's Kirby. I think it's Kirby, bro.
You can argue that all day because you got to think
absolutely.
Branch can play in the slot, bro. He can play at safety, bro. Like he can come up and like Branch is a man. I like Branch, man.
I like Branch, but I think giving Kirby the money is a better long-term prospect.
Absolutely. He's a turnover machine. Like what? That changes the whole game. Like,
exactly. See, my point. My point. Versatility. Who's more versatile? Branch. Okay, sure. But who warps the game?
Kirby. That's the quarterback.
There you go. Just saying.
I mean, it's one of those like you can't go wrong with either, right? Like I'm not mad. Like I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like that's their decision. They made. Okay, I back them. Like Brad Holmes not giving me no reason not to, go against the grain.
Exactly, I feel you.
You know, so hey, do you like?
Yeah.
Now, me personally, regarding this Anzalone topic, I would go year by year with him if it was me.
1 year deal.
Fair enough.
1 year deal.
I don't know if he would do it, but that's what Richard Riggs would do.
Well, see, that's the thing, though, man. With a player, when we go to talking like that, that's when the player doesn't want to be around. All players are always going to want stability. That's why I'm like this with him, man. I'm like, all right, bro. So if you say you got $6 million left on a 1 year deal, and like, how about this? I'll give you 2 for $9. Well, essentially, we give you an extra $3 million for 2 years. That's basically what that boils down to. And you got 2 years of stability. And then at that point, man, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
And at that point, but that'll bring you to 33 years old. So within that 2 year window, especially if we win a championship with that, that'll bring you to retirement talks. Because right now, between 31 and 33 is the most we're ever going to get out of you, anyways. So why would you? Exactly. Why would he get a raise, especially at his position? Why would he get a raise?
I would play if I was Brad Holmes. I would play it out. You play your contract out. Go test the free market and see what everybody else gonna offer you. And they ain't gonna be offering you that much. You're gonna be coming back.
He may just come back. Ain't nobody gonna offer. Ain't nobody gonna pay Alex Anzalone, man.
That's what I'm saying. Let him pay his contract out.
So let me ask you this: how many teams does he upgrade?
The Detroit Lions. Got you.
I'm just saying, how many teams does he upgrade?
Right now,
does he really even upgrade the Lions? Like that's what I'm saying, man. If we're not trying to
when he was out last year and when he came back, it was a completely, totally different defense. You got to give him that.
We made adjustments since then, man. We talked about last year, brother. We've gotten talent. We've got new schemes. We've gotten. But 1 year progression is 1 year progression.
Bro, but it's not just been 1 year. This has been the year before that. He was good. That's why he got a new
1 year is a long time, my friend.
But
absolutely, you're right.
Like our boy Mike always says, there's context, right?
Yes.
So when he came back, did we have a Derek Barnes?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Did we have a Malcolm Rodriguez?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Did we have a Hutch?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Did we have a Leem?
No.
Mm-hmm. Good. Keep going, Rich. That's the point.
There we go.
So he came in with all them people being out. He came in and making a difference, bro. That's what he getting at.
Because you didn't have nobody. But if you got all of them, and I'm paying Derek Barnes, I just gave him a nice contract. You got Malcolm, who I don't think he's a fucking bum. You got Jack. You got this Stewart guy from Indianapolis, who he's had some good run. So who's to say he could be Anzalone where he didn't get to run in Indy, but he comes here and plays even better? Who's to say?
Yeah. See,
we don't
essentially what Richard's saying is he's just a piece, man. Am I wrong, Rich? Is that basically what you're saying in a nutshell? He's just a piece.
I mean, he's a valuable piece, but yeah, I mean, I don't think he's irreplaceable.
No, I wasn't saying that. I didn't say he was irreplaceable. I just said we do gotta give him the props for what he did when he did it. That's all I was saying.
Okay, now, all right. How about this then? Monetize that. So monetize your statement. What does that turn into for a contract?
Oh, I just said, bro, let him play out his contract and then let him test the free market and see he be calling back. I didn't say
he don't want to do that.
I wouldn't give him no more than I would go with Rich on giving him contracts maybe 1 year, one year at a time. Like 1 year, $7 million.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point with him. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to do that. He wants stability. He wants a long-term deal.
Well, if that's the case, then go to the Cardinals.
At some point, you gotta say, if you can go get more money, Ed, go get more money.
Oh yeah, I never said get the bag. You feel me? Get your money. You feel me?
Yeah, you just can't get it here.
Because I also am old enough to remember, and I was also included on this boat of Anzalone sucks, but he has gotten better. But he was not that good his first year or two.
I tell you, him coming to Detroit changed his whole fucking career. I'm just saying. That's it. All right, with that said, man, you gotta do us a favor, man. I appreciate the 201 people that's that's watching us that's watching us tonight, man. I'm glad y'all spending your Friday night with us. You feel me? Because ain't no real sports on unless you're watching hockey. Or my team ain't in the song watching it. You feel me? So do us a favor, man. You go to YouTube, man. Please hit that subscribe button, man. Would appreciate that, man. On God. And with that said, man, we're gonna go to the next topic, bro. Let me see where I'm at. How will Shepard come in and change this defense, man? Starting coming back from AG from last year, he had a lot of missing pieces. Still went to the Jets and got a good deal. Shout out to AG. You know what I mean? Appreciate what you did here. You feel me? You're one of the most underrated coordinators in the league. But how y'all think Shepard gonna come in here, man? His defensive philosophy being a linebacker. What you said?
I just said philosophy, brother.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate that. How y'all think he gonna come in and change the defense? And what do you expect from his defense this year? I'm gonna start with you, Ed.
I think it's a quick and easy answer. He won't blitz every time. And I think, yeah, man. I think that's kind of what got us into trouble, man. We got predictable at the end there. As much as I like AG, I just think the lack of versatility. Just continuing to go to something that was not working, and some people say it was because of personnel. I don't necessarily buy that. I think there's a level of stubbornness in there with the play calling as well.
So you think he's gonna be able to adjust that half? So you telling me you think Shepard gonna be able to adjust that halftime? That's what you're telling me?
Yeah, no, I think he's gonna have a little bit more diverse in terms of his schemes. He's gonna have a little bit more diversity in terms of his schemes. I think he's also got a good mind, man. If you see some of his interviews, he's very creative. So I do think we're going to start seeing a few more wrinkles than what we've seen in the past. But I'm very excited to see what he's going to do this year. I think he's got the personnel to do it. I think he's got the kind of guys he wants in there, and that's good. We're getting healthy. That's good. And I just think we're going to see a little bit more in the way of versatility, because there's some coverages I wonder, why don't we use this considering the kind of athletes that we do have when we were healthy, that is. And we still didn't see it, though. I just think as good as Aaron Glenn was at what he did, I just think sometimes his philosophy was a little bit too streamlined and got predictable at times. And I think this right here, I think he's going to really bring just a level of different versatility there, mixing things up.
Rich, same question, man. How you think what he gonna come bring to the Detroit Lions
So
defense and be different than AG.
this is where I disagree with most of the Lions fan base.
Mhm.
Oh, shit.
Everybody says they want to link him with hold on. Way to go, Tort. Way to go, Tort.
Emotional damage.
uh um Does everybody want to link him to AG? What they forget, he has played in different schemes himself as a linebacker. He has
Exactly.
played for some good coaches. He is so I think he's going to be very versatile, like Ed said, and also linebackers think
Mhm.
differently than secondary. So that's a new mindset because he's not going to think like AG, who was a corner. He's going to lean on the front seven because he was a linebacker.
Lean on
Exactly.
me.
So it's a different perspective. Do
Mhm.
I now, in saying that, do I think we're going to look totally different? No, I do not. But I don't think you can. I don't think you'll be able to just say, "Oh, this is AG's defense." That I don't see. He's going to have his own. But I mean, every coach, right? Even if they come from a coaching tree, the good ones put a spin on it, right? I was just looking at a thing the other day, and they were talking about it was John Sally talking about the triangle offense. Phil won 6 with Jordan.
Let me not do that. Let me not do that. Sorry
He
about
won
that.
5
Let me not do that.
with Kobe and Shaq. And
No.
then Steve Kerr took a version of it and won 4 more.
Mhm.
That triangle offense, 2 different coaches, 2 different versions, produced 15 freaking championships. I'm not saying that but I'm just saying everyone's gonna have their own spin. You're not gonna be like your predecessor. And with him,
Uh-huh.
I forgot all the coaches he played under and stuff, but I think Pagano's one of them.
Mhm.
And Pagano's he comes from the Baltimore tree, the Baltimore
Right.
defense. So I'm with Ed. I just wanted to add some perspective to it. I think it's going to be versatile, and there's some games that AG come out and you'd be like, man, fantastic, like Minnesota, and then the next week you'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I did a lot of sticking up for AG. Uncle AG. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't that bad of a guy, you feel me? But he
Like
did
the
have
Bills
man.
game. How the hell does your third string running back get 100 yards receiving in the first half?
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
unacceptable.
man. I'll say this though, man. Like to the AG point. As much as I like AG, I'm glad he went. Got his money, and I'll say this in context. I think he's a better leader of men than what Johnson's going to be over in Chicago. To be very honest with you, I think he's just a better leader of men. But however, from a coordinator's perspective, I still to this day do not understand how Ben Johnson got more heat for what he was calling offensively than what Aaron Glenn was calling defensively. And I don't want to hear injuries as an excuse. We were clearly getting shredded, going all out with all out blitzes by Daniels. We were clearly getting picked apart. And for him to continue that scheme over and over and over again, and I don't want to hear it was the injuries, it was not injuries. AG just did not know what to do. He didn't know how to adjust. It's just it was either that or stubbornness. It could be only one of those 2 things, man. He cost us that game with that. Here's my thing, man. You can't have dominant performances with the so-called, ragtag bumps that we had left at the end of the season defensively, and then when we have a game that was poorly coached on the defensive end, then want to go back to the injuries as an excuse. It wasn't an excuse against the Vikings, right?
Nope, not at
Just
all.
saying. Just saying.
Great point.
Sure.
I mean, that's what I hate too is when and you hear it in the basketball playoffs, right? Oh,
Mhm.
so and so hurt. He's not. Who the hell is healthy at the end of their season? In any sport, you're never as healthy as you were on the first day of training camp, spring training, whatever. Am I right?
Absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah.
Everyone's dealing with something. Like, man, that is the sorriest excuse I've ever heard, Ed. I hate when people do that. Oh, he hurt.
Mhm.
And you don't think your opponents ain't hurting at all?
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Strap your nuts up and play the damn game.
Really?
For sure. On God. All right, man. We got our hour point, man. But I'm gonna leave off here. We're gonna leave off with a little funny shit that happened in Detroit. You feel me? On this topic right here, man. Just flipping the bird, man. You feel me? And I don't even know if you've seen this tonight, bro. But he was
I'm not.
tripping, bro. I think he lost his job, though. He got to be fucked.
Oh,
Bro.
is that a trainer or something?
That's the groundsman, bro. At the,
Yeah, he's done.
he turned that bitch on national TV, bro. They got him, bro. He got hurt. I don't know if somebody was picking with him in the dugout or something,
Nah,
bro.
man, he's done. That's
He's done,
stupid.
bro.
He's just done as that. You know that one reporter, man. I guess he thought he was off. He was off air. He talked about the F that girl in the pussy or whatever, and then they caught him. And man, yeah, brother, he's done like that. He's through.
He listen.
He's
He hurt
through.
him so long though. His dude
Yeah,
next to him had to put his finger down.
exactly. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with him, or he was off his medication. That guy is through.
Oh shit! Hey, if anybody need a job, make sure y'all go to Tigers.com and put it. Y'all can be a groundsman right now because that position will be open. You feel me? Like that's crazy as fuck, bro. Like Richard, man, I know you seen it, man. Your thoughts on it, man?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. At first, when I seen all the trainers and everything, I thought it was a player. And then this goofball, like, you're at work, right? So it's like any other job. You're good. They're gonna pay you. They're gonna take care of all your bills. Your workman's comp. But then you go do that, and then they had to block you once they were like, how
Yeah.
stupid can you be?
Yeah, he looked like a young guy too, man. That's what I'm saying. You already know how my stance on some of these young dudes, man. A lot of them are just mentally ill. I think it's because the testosterone levels are so low nowadays.
It's like put your finger down.
What's wrong? What's wrong with you,
man.
man?
Hey,
And that's a good job.
Hey, can you imagine a player doing that? They're hurt.
Exactly.
And the camera like, boom.
What happened to him? Did he get hit by a pitch or something?
I don't know. I think he messed up his leg or something. But I know that the announcer on TV was like, "Well, you just can't do that." When that shit happened, that shit was silly as fuck.
He was a grounds crew, Ed.
Oh, let me see if I can find
Yeah,
it, bro.
that dude is fired, man.
Yeah, bro.
That guy is fired.
He done, bro. Like that shit silly, bro. Oh God, I was cracking up when I seen that shit.
Boy, doing like tough steak. That boy out of there, man. When did this happen? Was that today or yesterday or what was that?
It was this
2 days
week.
ago.
It was the other day.
Yeah, bro. Very that. All right, man. I appreciate it. 214 people that's watching, man. I truly do, man.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you watching. Do me a favor, like I said, man. If y'all can go to YouTube and hit that subscribe button, man. Detroit Fan Report. You feel me, bro? We will be here tomorrow with the baseball show, Rich, Central Crown.
Tomorrow.
What time? Let the people know.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Be here doing that. You feel me? Hey man, you know I appreciate you showing up, bro. Doing your thing like you always do. Let everybody know where they can find you at.
I'm at the D313XP, and you can find me here from time to time.
Yes, sir. Rich, my dog. Let everybody know where they can find you at.
You can find me on X at Riggs928. You can find me on come check me out tomorrow. Me and Bandit gonna be on the Crown.
Yes, sir.
Crown.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, we just said, man, everybody have a safe and blessed night, man. Like I said, do us a favor, man. Follow us on X. Hit the subscribe button, man. We just said, man.
Yes, sir.
We out.
Adios, turd nuggets.